Hello? Is this thing on?
Me?
No, not you.
Not me?
Is this thing on? Oh my god, Bodan's crying in the chat. Is this fucking thing on? God damn it, Bodan. I can't fucking give you one healthy bit of criticism without you crying like a baby. It's all good. Alright, folks, is this thing on? Can we get a sound test?
Goodness.
Okay, I'm gonna play this and we're gonna do a sound comparison. We're gonna compare the sound between your microphone, Erin, I'm speaking to you, and Ben Burgis circa 2019.
I would say, I'm
Okay,
not.
now you speak.
Am I too loud?
I don't know. I'm gonna turn you down a little bit. Whoa, I don't even have you friended. All right, I just friended you live on stream. All right, folks. All right, folks. This is it. You might be thinking, is this it? And if you are, you would be correct because this is in fact it. The audio and video are out of sync. That's not, no. No, you can't be telling me that. No. Yeah, I gotta turn my air conditioner on. I'm way too hot. There's no way. The audio's out of sync. I think that's a you problem. That sounds like a you problem. It's no, not true.
I'll check.
What is with these people that say true? What is true? I don't know what's true. How are you gonna say true? What is the response? Is true as in the audio? It is not. It can't be out of sync. Why would it be out of sync? This isn't good. It's all falling apart. How is it out of sync? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. All right, I'm closing the stream. I'm turning it off. Hello? Hello?
That's better.
Is it better?
Yeah.
How do you know? Is the stream on already? I just clicked the button.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on.
Okay, so now this motherfucker says, "Oh, I refreshed, and now it's fixed."
The stream is good.
The stream is good?
The stream is okay. The stream is good.
Oh god. Oh god, I'm having a hot flash.
Control F5. Everybody.
No.
Control F5. Control F5.
Should
Everybody
I do it too?
control F5.
Should I do it too? What would happen if I did that? What's in that thermos? What do you got there?
Coffee. I got coffee.
Just coffee?
Creamer though, so it's just milk and sugar.
Just coffee though. Any other
Additives?
Additives?
No,
Yeah,
I'm not a morning drinking girl. I don't do that.
Okay, because I do.
Oh.
In fact, I might actually just for fun because I got a little bit of this left.
Cool.
And I am totally an alcoholic. But that's all right. So, okay. So, do you want to do like what is happening? Like, there's like a lot going on in your life right now. Like, do you want to touch on that, or do you want to just like go into this first?
Well, so for those of you who don't know, yesterday there was a video posted where Savage Joy was talking to Ron Placone and said that she's been like $3,000 or $4,000 in debt. She spent a lot of money on charge cards and stuff like that for the march. And I felt that it was unfair that people with large platforms who have arguably can afford it, like Jimmy Dore, didn't just like offer to pay. There's no reason I feel that she should have incurred that debt in the first place. So I thought, well, this will be a good opportunity for me and some of my friends to mend the rift with some of my other friends. And so I started to organize a GoFundMe. I didn't reach out to her, which probably was a mistake, but to be fair, in my defense, had I reached out to her, how do you think that would have played out? She doesn't know me. She would have looked at my profile, saw that I was associated with Jeff, and then immediately said no and
So is
blocked
this
me or whatever.
now? I don't want to trivialize this, but you just admitted on stream that you are an associate of Jeff. Is that? Are you a member
Am
of
I
the G-Hive?
G-Hive?
Are you?
I guess.
What is your official designation?
I've been given the title of G-Hive. This is not something that I sought out myself.
So this is
G-Hive.
the thing with G-Hive. Now everyone has their "when did you hear about G-Hive" story, and it's always someone calling you G-Hive, and you have no idea what the hell that means. That's usually how it goes. But yeah, so I saw that there was a shitstorm going on, and I thought it was like bizarre. I really don't understand what's wrong with these people.
Well, so to add a little bit more context, I made this when I had like a couple hours left in my shift at work. I was still working. I wasn't like I didn't expect it to blow up. I posted it to a couple of my friends in their group chat.
Real
I don't
quick,
have that big of a following.
can I get some clarification on this? Are you saying that you are working class? Is that possible?
Yes, yeah.
A member
I
of the
admit
working
it.
class is part of
I admit
G-Hive?
it. Yeah. And in
Okay.
fact, I've been working overtime to be able to afford our rent since our landlord raised our rent prices. Colorado's terrible. Don't come to Colorado. Go to Oregon.
Oh, I'm going to
Don't come to
Oregon.
Colorado.
As soon as I can, I'm getting the hell out of there. Here. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you're at work, you're slaving away. You are
Yeah, so
selling your soul.
I'm coming back from lunch. I went out to the to the pharmacy at lunch to pick up my next set of needles for my injection tomorrow. And I was sent that video by somebody, and I watched it, and I thought, well, this will be a good opportunity. So I thought, I'll go ahead and start it. I don't have that big of a following. It's not gonna like blow up or anything. Like 2 hours later, I'm almost done with my shift, and I see that it's got like 60 retweets or something like that.
I was one of them.
And yeah, and just as many likes. And I check on the status, and I've been periodically checking in, and we go from like $10 to $20, and then I put in $10, and then somebody else donated $40, and somebody donated $100 for her. And in 2 hours, we had $160 for her already, which isn't a lot, but it's something, right?
It's
And
definitely something.
my idea was, I want to have something tangible to approach her with, so that way I can offer it to her, and she can be like, "Oh, thank you, that was so thoughtful. Here, let's work on mending the rift, and that's
So
a good
let
idea."
let me get some key details correctly here. When you started GoFundMe on someone else's behalf, only that someone else is capable of collecting the money. Is that correct?
Well, yes, kind of. So I did a little bit more research into it, and I found that you have to add them as a beneficiary. But if your whole title and description and everything is in the name of somebody else, and you're requesting to withdraw the funds, they will have a rigorous process there for you to verify that you are in touch with this person, and you will be giving those funds to that person. When you do a request on something like GoFundMe, especially if you've got like over $1,000 or something, they look at that and they evaluate that. So that was my idea, was that it wouldn't be possible for me to withdraw the funds when I created it, like that it just simply would not be possible. And that was my intent. I didn't put in any of my bank information. The only thing I did was put in my card information to give the $10, which also.
So you gave the $10. Is that news?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be news, but
Okay.
yeah, I did donate $10 on my own. I don't have a lot to donate, but I figured, if everyone donates a little, it'll add up.
Right.
But I just kind of felt bad that, like, I don't know, these people with these big platforms were using her events to promote their platforms, and she has this debt still. I don't feel like that should be the case at all. So I saw it as an opportunity, and I guess I just did it wrong or made some mistakes, and I'm sorry. But I mean, it wasn't even up 2 hours by the time that she retweeted it and said, "This is fraud, everybody go report it." And then by the time I was literally about to clock out for my shift, I was taking one last call. I checked Twitter, and I had like 40 notifications from people that were quote tweeting me saying that they've reported me for fraud and that that's a felony.
It's a felony. I saw that. I was cracking
Yeah.
I was cackling. I mean, you can ask everyone in my entire neighborhood. They were like actually calling the cops. Like, there's a noise ordinance in my town. I was cackling so hard. Like the idea that and I want to say, like, my opinion on this is that these people are so far gone that they literally think every other person who disagrees with them even slightly is somehow like being manipulated by Jeff, some random guy, or like Hillary Clinton or something, or like Joe Biden's like got you on the strings. Like, it's.
Oh, speaking of, that brings up a memory when I was rushing when I saw all this and, you know, saw that she was pissed off about it for some reason, I decided, fine, let's fucking do it. I googled how do I refund fucking GoFundMe, and I went through the process and I refunded everybody. And in the process, they send you an email with a link to confirm that you're gonna be refunding everyone, and you have to click the link or whatever. And in the process, I found an email from GoFundMe notifying me that I had a message from someone that was like, God hates Hillary 44 at gmail.com or some shit like that. And that name stood out to me. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why would you make your email about, okay, whatever. But like
I mean, they're not wrong. Like, let's be honest. They're not wrong.
I mean, yeah, but it's that cultish behavior, you know? Like, I don't know. Yeah. I think that's about it. I tried. I'm sorry that I fucked it up, but I deleted everything.
Yeah,
I removed it. I refunded it. Like, and still for hours yesterday, I was getting her fucking people in my comments telling me how I'm a fraud and a fake, and then she says, you know, I'm not saying you made a GoFundMe for me to take the money for yourself or anything. And then in the same breath, she says, oh, well, I think it's a deep conspiracy, and I think they were trying to say, oh, look at this ungrateful person, or use it as a slight against, or some shit like that. And I'm just like, oh my God, okay.
I mean, like, I'm gonna let you know right now, like, I would never even dream of doing what you did. So, like, the idea that you're trying to actually proactively go out there and help people that are just, like, in my estimation, not people that I think deserve the help, but, like, I think that that's a really good thing. And so, like, I mean, to me, again, I would never think of that. I would never even conceive of that. Like, if I saw that clip in a way not attached to your fundraiser, I would have just started laughing. And even, I will be honest, I actually did start laughing, even though I knew it was attached to the fundraiser, because, like, she is being manipulated very hard by, like, rich, famous, millionaire podcasters, and, like, she's doing these marches, and she genuinely thinks, they're like, oh, we're getting one step closer. Like, every single time she attends a march, it's one step closer to that. She actually thinks that. When, like, the reality of the situation is they're actually several hundred steps further away, because when Cori Bush went to her event, they yelled at her live on stage, right? So it's like, they're making it more difficult to get Medicare for all, but they're, like, manipulated in this, like, weird fantasy world where they actually think that, like, they're like the main character saving the world, and it's definitely interesting.
Well, I did a short stream last night, and I'm gonna have a clip posted later, but yeah, lesson learned: do not interact with Jimmy Dore posts. Ignore Jimmy Dore posters. Block all Jimmy Dore things. Do not mention Jimmy Dore. Don't think about Jimmy Dore. Yeah, that's it.
And so let me understand this correctly. So these people in their campaign against you actually messaged your co-host and tried to get you canceled. Your co-host Ben Burgis, of course.
Wow, what? Okay.
So,
my God, I'm so sorry. This is causing so much stress for everybody. What the fuck?
It's all good. So originally we were going to be covering this Ben Burgis, Jesse Lee Peterson debate because you debated Ben Burgis. It was really funny. David Feldman inquired into Ben Burgis's behavior, and it was really funny. And so someone in the chat mentioned that how is it possible that Ben Burgis is losing every single debate he's ever had? And so someone pointed out he even lost against Jesse Lee Peterson. And now other people are like, how is that possible? So we're about to find out how that's possible. And so, I mean, you can tell me to pause it whenever you want. I personally, when I watch debates, I pause a lot because I'm a narcissist and I love having my voice be heard on stream.
Pause it.
Yeah, you can, you know, we'll put your pause up. Yeah, there you go. So let me know when you're ready, and I will like the video. Let's give Jesse Lee Peterson some boosted.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm good.
I would say, oh, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male.
Can I just say,
a beta male.
okay, we have to talk about the title. The title of this video. It's not on the stream, but actually, let me just like uncrop it real quick. Rutgers University professor of philosophy and an uneducated man get into it. I'm just gonna leave that up because it really is a perfect title. I'm
He's
gonna put this on 1.25 just because that's the kind of person I am.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
For it.
So, Jesse Lee Peterson, I haven't heard about him in a while. I hope he's
Yeah,
okay. But
the last time I heard from him was like when Destiny and Vosh and them were doing stuff with him and seeing the clips of that stuff. It's interesting.
we have a chat comment here. I didn't know Jesse Lee Peterson was a professor. All right.
Ridiculous, Jesse.
Beta,
And
let me.
the fact that you
Ben,
need to resort to this
Ben,
nonsense
let me ask you, Ben,
shows that you know that you don't have a lid to stand on in the argument.
Ben.
If you had an argument, you'd make it. You don't have an argument for your views.
I'm
You're
already-
making
I'm
it.
gonna die.
You rely on nonsensical taunts about
Ben,
who's the male and
Ben,
try to disguise your arguments as questions. It's pathetic.
Ben, where does logic come from?
All right. So, okay, if
So
anyone is
fucking troll,
wondering,
dude.
if anyone is wondering how you lose against Jesse Lee Peterson, this is a how to
Logic.
not debate Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah, you don't take him seriously. That's it.
Oh my god. All right. So, the triggered snowflake, the literal straw man of a triggered snowflake goes up.
Hey, have with me Ben Burgis. He's here. He is a professor
here.
of philosophy at Rutgers
He's
and
so-
is the author of Give Them an Argument.
Yeah.
Logic for the left. This is where he's urging the
you
leftists
got it.
to
You
be
got the
more
book.
persuasive and logical. Ben, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
And so, are you a liberal?
I'm a leftist. I wouldn't call myself a liberal, but I'm a socialist and a Bernie Sanders
Wait,
supporter.
pause it.
Hey, what's it?
He calls himself a leftist here. I think later on, I think now he doesn't really call himself a leftist anymore.
Like a social democrat or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
something
so
like that.
I'm gonna. This is a call out post to all social democrats. So watch out. What is the point of being a social does anyone know? Like, why not just be a communist? Anyone got that information? Anyone? All right.
The difference between a socialist, a liberal and a leftist.
Well, I think that liberals, think about the difference between the proposals that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders put out recently about student loans. That Warren wants to means test it, so only.
I just want to say, no one cared about this at the time, and especially nowadays, people don't care. But the idea that Ben Burgis would go on Jesse Lee Peterson's show and try to split hairs between two Democratic primary candidates' specific policies that no one cares about to Jesse Lee Peterson's audience, to me, is astounding.
Some student loans are forgiven. It's only up to $50,000, etc. Whereas Sanders wants a universal program. And I think also, I think liberals want to more tinker with what we've got right now, and socialists want to make more dramatic changes.
And so you are a socialist.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how and why did you become? Have you always been a socialist?
I've been a socialist for a long time. I think that the economic system that we've got right now isn't working for most people. You see evidence of that all over the place. We have the richest country in the world. Millions of people, still don't have health care or have health care they can't afford to use. We have
is the system we have now working for you?
Irrelevant.
How is that irrelevant?
I love.
It's totally.
Can we
irrelevant.
talk the smugness of Ben Burgis? We're again, this is totally the wrong attitude. I have watched Jesse Lee Peterson debate so many different people, but the smugness where he's trying to be logical. This is honestly one of the things that convinced me that logic is pointless. It literally does not matter how logical you are. No one cares.
Relevant because because whether or not it works for me has nothing to do with whether it's unjust. I could be I could be wealthy and successful much more than I am, and it would still remain true that if there were millions of people in the richest country in the world who were homeless, millions of people who didn't have health care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that system was unjust. Of course, the right always likes to play this game that if you criticize capitalism and you're poor, it's because you're envious of other people's money. If you criticize capitalism, you're rich.
I want to go back to my question, Ben. The system that we have now, is it working for you?
Why do you think that's relevant, Jesse?
Well, just answer the question. I'll tell you why. Is it working for you?
It's working okay for me. It could be working better. Now tell me why it's relevant.
So are you saying yes, it is working for you?
Let's say for the sake of argument, yes. Sure. Why is it relevant?
And so if it's working for you, why don't you teach others how to make it work for them rather than setting them up to use them for a personal gain? Why don't you teach them how and why it's working for you?
Well, there's a massive logical leap there from the premise that it's working for me.
All right, here's all the fallacies. Let me list all the fallacies.
Yo, I literally, I still to this day, and now that I'm watching this again, it's all coming back to me now. The idea that this motherfucker actually tried to use logic against Jesse Lee Peterson, to me, is astounding. And again, it proves that, like, this guy has lost the plot, and he's always kind of been in this fashion. It just wasn't always abundantly obvious because the left was very unified in 2019, right? During the primary, basically everyone was like, yeah, burn. And then there were what is now, like, the force the vote people, like, the core, the seed of those people were the Tulsi folks. Remember that? The Tulsi bros. But most people were like, yeah, Bernie Sanders, right? And so it's like, the idea that this guy thinks, like, how would have Ben Burgis, like, discussed, like, general election debates if it were Bernie versus Trump? That would be my question. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. Like, I don't even know if really Ben watches other people's content before he goes and interviews with them. But, like, yeah, absolutely. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, like, I don't know.
Conclusion that therefore anybody who wanted to or anybody who did the same things that I do that would work for them, that doesn't follow. Different people have different advantages in life. Just because some people are successful within a system, that doesn't mean everybody could be successful. Even if everybody.
But you're still not telling me, Ben. You're not telling me why.
Even if every individual could be successful, it still wouldn't follow that every individual could be successful.
I don't know how much of the David Feldman debate that you watched, but Ben does this all the time, where he just steamrolls people, and he did this against you as well, but he just doesn't shut the fuck up. Like it really is so annoying because, like, when you go that, like, another thing is that he doesn't understand. Because he's a college professor or whatever, most people, they tune out after, like, a couple sentences. And that's being generous. Right? So if you're going on and on and on, you're going on a soliloquy, like, Shakespearean fucking, like, drama you're doing on stage, people have stopped listening to you after the first sentence. And then, at that point, you just, if they tune back in, they don't have enough context to understand what's going on. And then also, you just look like a silly person.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that, I don't know. I just wanted to be, like, considerate to him because it was his show and stuff, so I let him talk as much as he wanted. It's, his show.
That's
whatever,
why, that's the reason you chose you over me on that one.
yeah, that's true. He knew I wouldn't be as contentious
folks.
An opponent.
Because if everybody had got a middle class job, then nobody would be picking the food and society would collapse. So
Ben,
this idea that mobility is a solution to structural.
I ask you, why don't you teach those who don't know, apparently, how you are doing it, how you do it to cause it to work for you? Why don't you teach them that? And then see what the outcome is. You don't know if it's going to work for them or not because you have not taught them your way, the way you're doing it. Why not? Why haven't you taught them that?
Okay, so I want to be really clear. So what you're suggesting here is that I switch from teaching philosophy to teaching business, personal life coaching, something like that.
What I'm suggesting is that you said this system is working for you, And so rather than trying
Pause
to
it for a
turn
sec.
these people into little socialists,
Not necessarily. He wouldn't like have to completely switch his like I don't know, career or anything like that. You could make a fucking YouTube video, man.
I mean, that
And-
now that we know, like, hasn't he officially switched his career from professor to podcaster debate bro? Isn't that why he
Author?
started his podcast?
I don't know. Is that
Can someone fact
when
check
did he
that in the
start
chat
that?
room? We need our live fact checkers on here.
I don't know when Give Them an Argument started. I see that it was already pretty well established by the time I showed up. But
Yeah, it started somewhere recently. I don't know. Either way, unpausing.
so that you can use them for your own personal gain. Why not teach them?
Wait a second. How is that my personal gain?
Because the whole purpose of socialism is to use people for your own personal gain, to gain power and wealth.
No, it isn't.
Rather than
That's the
using them,
capitalism.
setting them up to use them, why not teach them what you know?
So
that,
hold on. What you're saying doesn't make the slightest bit of sense. You're saying two things that can't both be true. You're saying that capitalism is working just fine for me.
You said it's working for
and
you.
You're also saying that by encouraging people to be socialists, I'm using them for my personal gain.
That's the only reason for
if
socialism.
capitalism is working so well for me, what do I have to gain from moving to socialism?
In reality, that's the only reason for socialism is to dumb the people down, addict them to you so that you can use them for personal gain. That's all Bernie Sanders is doing.
That is a
Bernie Sanders,
nonsense.
Bernie Sanders and the
Where are you
Democrats are
getting
doing that. Bernie Sanders and the Democrats are.
assertions, or do you have some sort of argument for that?
Bernie Sanders is a very wealthy man, and rather than teaching people how to become wealthy people, he offered them free stuff in order to dumb them down, in order to control them for personal gain, to gain power and wealth.
Everything
And
you
that's
just
what
said,
that's what you're
everything
doing.
You just said is wrong. Since you had me on, you're going to give me a chance to explain why everything you just said is wrong?
Yes.
All right, excellent. First of all, the idea that Bernie Sanders should be teaching other people, how to get $1 million or whatever is ridiculous, because what he would be teaching them is, well, first you run for president, after
Okay, I just want to say, I know I'm playing this on 1.25x, but, he actually is speaking extremely fast, and and again, I need you to understand the idea that Ben Burgis literally thinks debating is like, when PEMDAS is trending on Twitter for the 15th time this year, and people are trying to that's what he thinks debating is. He thinks it's just you find the solution and then you win. That's not what a debate is. That's not what that is. And so if you're going on a right-wing show, especially if you're going on a right-wing show, you need to understand that semantics and presentation is not half the battle, it's all of the battle. There's nothing else. But he's thrown semantics and presentation out the window. Well, I mean, he's just thrown the presentation out the window. Really, he's knee-deep in the semantics. But he really thinks that it's if I just prove that this is 4 plus 5, and then carry the 3, and then multiply by 16, and then, he thinks that's how you win in the battlefield of ideas. And it's not. It's how you lose.
End of decades of public service, and then you write a book about it. That's not exactly a universal path to economic success.
You're making money off that.
Far from dumbing people down, giving people things like universal health care actually gives them more options in life. Because right now...
No, it doesn't.
That's fair. That's a good point. Yeah.
No, it cheapens.
Are you agreeing with Ben Burgis here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a pretty
having
good
universal health, not having that burden on you, absolutely frees you up. Yeah, the whole reason that the working class is so kept down right now is because there's so many fucking burdens on top of them.
And
Like
so
they're
many
responsible
Burgesses
for their
as
own
well.
health care. Like there's no basic income or anything like that. All of their income has to go to rent or mortgage. The housing market is insane right now. Yeah, no. It's you free up people from obligations, and sure enough, yeah, you find that they end up being more productive, living longer, happier, healthier, overall better people.
I think the thing you're missing out on though is that they're getting socialist healthcare, and that means they're
right.
being injected
Fuck.
with nanomachines.
Fuck,
I think
you're right.
you forgot about that part.
I forgot about the socialist nanobots. They also poison the water supply with socialist nanobots so that they will learn the things that you like and then create other beings out of nanobots to try to give you those things that you like. Yeah, it's a socialist nightmare.
Are you blowing the whistle on this?
I'm blowing the whistle.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
That's me.
Amazing.
Socialism, your time is up. No more
Amazing.
nanobots.
Amazing.
them for your personal
because
gain.
right now, people are afraid to lose the jobs that they have because their health care is associated with it. So you want to keep your head down. You want to do everything your boss says, because if you lose your job, you and your family will lose your health care. If you want to give people more options, to be able to go back to school, be able to start their own businesses, et cetera, they're much better off. They're in a much better position to do that if they have national health insurance.
So do you have your own health insurance?
I have health insurance that's provided by my employer.
And so if you can live off...
But I would much rather have national health insurance. I lived in South Korea for 3 years. I had national health insurance there. That was way better.
So you would rather have free insurance that someone else is paying for than to have your own that you pay for?
First of all, I'd be paying for it too. Everybody's paying for it. That's how that works. But when we pool our money together, it's much cheaper and more efficient to have...
But Ben, what if I don't know how to swim?
Health insurance that way.
Why did you leave South Korea?
When you talk about other people paying for it, that's incredibly just mathematically misleading. People are paying, the average taxpayer
it's gonna get
pays
so good,
much
so
less
soon.
in systems with universal health care like
So Erin, remind me, you haven't seen this yet.
That's right.
Amazing.
Canada for health care than the
he about
average
to ask, do you
taxpayer
look
pays in the
like
United States
people?
for private health insurance premium.
So when you were in South Korea, you said...
taxes plus their private health insurance premium versus what they pay for the raised taxes under a system with universal health
When you were
insurance.
in South Korea, you said you received free health care, right?
I received health care that was paid for by taxes, of course.
And so why didn't you stay there?
Why didn't I stay there? Because that's not the only factor. But trust me, it's not because the health insurance is better here.
Amazing. And so do you believe that people are so dumbed down and lazy that you need to encourage free stuff for them? They don't have the ability to strive in life and succeed as you have done and are doing. Do you believe most people don't have that in them? They need you to take care of them?
No, not at all. I don't think that people.
Then why are you offering them that?
I think that right now, human potential is quashed because we have a system where people are under the thumb of bosses because people are terrified to lose their job because they lose their health insurance. Same deal with college tuition. That if you lose the job right now, you're worried that you wouldn't be able to send your kids to school. I think that they would have much more options in life.
I want to move on because of time. Do you work for someone else right now?
I just want to read this comment.
Time.
Yeah, exactly.
For like another half hour.
Yeah, I know. He would have kept going too. But Andrew in the chat says, but Burgis is trying way too hard and thinks that Jesse Lee Peterson is listening to all the stuff he's saying.
Yeah.
When in reality, like, he's listening to nothing. Like, anyone that's watching Jesse Lee Peterson, like, that agrees with him, none of this matters. You're not going to reach them at all. And so the only point of coming on here is to make a funny... Well, I guess if the only point of coming on the show is to make it funny. I think Ben did a good job. But, like, in effect, he just doesn't know how to debate in any other term other than, like, mathematics.
Yeah. I don't know. And that's, fallacy. That's a fallacy. You going into a debate thinking Jesse Lee Peterson is taking you seriously or is listening to you at all. Or
it is
acting in good faith. No, the point, if you're going to engage with Jesse Lee Peterson, the point is to use his platform to promote your platform. The point is to just get down in the mud and just engage in bad faith with him because nobody's going to look good coming out of it. So it doesn't matter.
Jesse Lee Peterson looks pretty good coming out of this one. I might subscribe to the show. I mean, I miss.
You said that at the beginning of the segment,
right.
So you know the answer to that question.
And what's the answer?
Yes, you when you introduced me, you said I did work for somebody else. So
are you terrified of losing? Are you terrified of losing your job or losing your health care?
Well, I am in much less fear of that than a lot of other people are for a few reasons. One of which is that I have a union, right? There's a faculty union where I am, and unionized employees are much have much more protection than non-unionized employees. Secondly, people, that not everybody is in an equally good position to get another job if this one falls through.
And they don't have the ability to do what you're doing.
But of course, no, not everybody has the same options. That's just a statement of fact.
So you're saying that most people are so dumb and lazy or mentally off that they can't do what you're doing.
No, that is total nonsense. Those are the words you put in my mouth. That's not something that I believe.
But that's how you treat them. That's how you treat them.
People are dumb and lazy. I think people have tremendous potential that's being quashed.
Well, why don't you encourage that rather than encouraging.
I am encouraging that.
No,
because
you're encouraging a dependency on someone else.
What unleashes that potential is giving people the economic basis so they have more options in life.
Are you for reparations? The Democrats are pushing for reparations for black people.
Ben's answer here, I already know what it is, and it's really bad. It's really bad. Do you remember this debate people were having? And I don't know if you do, Erin, but in 2019, people were debating whether or not reparations are a good idea.
Yeah.
And people actually said no. What?
What the fuck?
So let's watch.
Are you for reparation for black people?
Sounds good to me. I guess you're against it. Why?
Are you for it?
Just wait for it.
I think that right now it's probably a better idea just tactically to work on narrowing the racial wealth gap with universal social programs that would benefit everybody but would disproportionately benefit minorities because they have been the most brutalized by this system. But I'm not against reparations. I understand you're against them, though. Can you tell me why?
I'm black and slow.
Pause it.
So I need.
This is the worst Mott and Bailey I've ever heard of my entire life. 100%. Like,
It's
just
so,
like
like
on the face, it's like a fine point. He's like, yeah, sure, sounds good to me. And then he's like, oh, dig a little deeper into that. And he's like, well, okay.
and then he
maybe
goes
not.
into it. It's like, well, I don't think it's tactical. That's the thing. It's like
Yikes.
Jesse Lee Peterson is playing him so hard, and it's just amazing.
Need a yes or no first. Are you for reparation for black people?
Sure, let's say yes, Jesse.
No. Let's don't do it. Yeah, let's say yes. I want to know. Ben Burgis, are you for reparation for black people?
I think you'll find that sometimes issues are too complicated for a one-syllable answer.
This is not a complicated issue, bro. Again, you want to know how you lose to Jesse Lee Peterson? This is how you lose to Jesse Lee Peterson. Wow.
That's the easiest yes or no he's ever going to do. Like, Jesse Lee Peterson does this all the time with his guests, where he'll back them into corners and he'll be like, yes or no, answer this question, yes or no, in this really simple terms, answer this really complex question with a yes or no. But this is a really simple question. This is not complex at all. Ben simply could have said yes and moved on to the next point. Instead, we are spending minutes litigating back and forth whether Ben thinks reparations are a good idea.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
If you don't like that, let's just simplify it to yes.
No, that's not an answer. Burgess.
Let's simplify it.
Are you for reparations?
Doing this double
simplify, like he's again doing math. He's like, oh yeah, let me carry the 4 and then drag the. I don't know. I
a simple yes or no. Yes.
Why not? Why isn't that a simple yes or no question?
Because you can agree that reparations would be justified, but think that strategically, in terms of what you're going to get the best winning political coalition right now, another strategy might be better. Now, if what you mean is, do I think that reparations...
Ben, I'm quite clear what I mean. I ask, do you think, are you, Ben Burgess, in favor of reparations for black people? Yes or no?
Do I think that reparations would be justified?
That's not my question.
Well, if that's what you mean, the answer is yes.
That's not my question. That's not what I mean.
Do I think the best strategy for narrowing the wealth
That's not my question.
That's going to get the best winning coalition is reparations right now, this minute?
How are you a professor of philosophy and you can't even answer simple questions?
Because your simple question is misleading. It's a false dilemma. Either you know what?
A fucking false dilemma, bro. I just like. Hey, Nix, how's it going? I can't. Like, again, if you want to have, like, the strategic question, all right. That's not that's not how you handle Jesse Lee Peterson. Like, I don't even understand what he is trying to do. Like, I think he's just advertising his own, like, political opinions, but, like, doing so in a way that's just embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but... Like, this is such an easy answer, and he goes on for minutes, dude. Like,
and he's like speaking over Jesse Lee Peterson. He sounds enraged. I mean, I don't. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
You're saying it's a logical fallacy. You're saying that
I haven't said anything. It was a question. Are you for reparation for black people?
You don't think something could be a loaded, misleading question? You think those are impossible? Those never exist?
Right. It doesn't. To a liar,
to a deceiver,
it's hard for them because they don't want to answer the truth.
Or for somebody who's capable of thinking more more complicated thoughts than yes, I totally agree with this, or no, I totally disagree with this. Sometimes the truth is complicated.
Are you for the wall, the big beautiful wall going up around the borders to stop the illegal aliens from coming in?
Absolutely not. You are, I guess. So why?
So let me ask.
That one's simple. No.
Illegal aliens are coming in, and as you know, they are destroying America, but Black America,
nonsense, actually.
Black America first and foremost. They are ended up in the urban areas first, which affects Black people, and they're taking jobs and education, healthcare. You want Black people to have free healthcare, right? They're coming in and they're ended up in the. Let me finish, man. Let me finish. And they're ended up in the county hospitals and facilities where Black people go and get free medical care. They are ended up in the public school system where Black people are getting free education. They're running Blacks out of their communities. They're bringing drugs and crime. So Black people are being affected first and foremost. Do you care that Black people are being affected first and foremost in a negative way by illegal aliens? Does that bother you?
The premise of your question is just false. Undocumented immigrants don't.
That's not my question, Ben. Does that bother you?
They actually commit violent crimes at a lower rate than people who are born here.
I gotta be honest. Like I'm not even listening to Ben Burgis at this point. Like I already know I'm going to agree with what he's saying, but I'm not even listening to him.
Yeah.
Because like it's just like he's speaking in the same tone over and over again, and I just like again Jesse Lee Peterson is destroying this motherfucker. Like 99% of debating is. How mad do you get? If you get mad, you lose. Like, it's like a direct correlation, the mad lose fallacy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is incredible. Are you enjoying yourself, Erin? How do you feel?
I love it. You know, it's funny because some other people have a much better time getting Jesse to engage with their questions, but Ben is having absolutely no success because all he's doing is just turning around and assuming that Jesse has the opposite opinion and then asking why. I wish he did a better job.
He does that with everyone, though. He did that with you the other day, where he's like, oh, you have an argument that isn't what I already thought it was, but I didn't look into you at all, and I just assumed what your arguments were because I'm so smart and I can predict those things. This guy, I mean, again, this guy is incredible.
That part's just nonsense. They also pay in taxes because undocumented immigrants who work in the system use fake social security numbers.
Man, you're running again.
Taxes, but they don't pay services. So what you said is the opposite of the truth.
You're running. You're a deceiver. You're running.
I'm not running. I'm telling you.
They're not undocumented.
You stated a bunch of falsehoods.
Listen.
And said, do these falsehoods bother you? I am explaining to you why they are false.
So what you're saying, no, you don't care that it's affecting Black people, right? You care more about the illegals than you do the Blacks.
No, that's because your premise, your reason for thinking that these are in conflict is just wrong.
They're not undocumented. They are illegal aliens, man.
Too many people. If you're worried that people are losing their jobs, if you're worried that people don't have health care, there are much better solutions to breaking up families and keeping people in concentration camps.
Man, does it bother you that Blacks are being? I'm not asking you about that. Man, that's not what I'm asking you about. I'm asking, does it bother you that Black people are being affected first and foremost by Black Americans, by illegal aliens coming in? Are you bothered by that? I'm sorry?
Not true.
Amazing.
That's not, so first of all,
how is it?
Your premise that the cause of Black poverty is illegal immigrants is total nonsense for reasons I just explained. Secondly,
Jesse just wants to move on. He's got his answer.
Yeah, he got his amazing. When he says amazing, he's going to the next one, man.
Exactly. That's punctuation and Jesse Lee Peterson. I got to get on this guy's show. How do I get on this guy's show? I need to get my secretary to reach out.
DM him, fuck it. Yeah, shoot your shot.
If we're concerned with how to alleviate that poverty, you're talking about people.
Ben, I'm not asking you about any of those things. I haven't asked about any of those things. I'm Black and slow, but not that Black and slow.
You said that they were losing their jobs. You said that
I asked you, does that bother you?
Okay, what you're saying doesn't bother me because it's not true.
Have you looked into it?
If it were true, there would be better solutions than building the Berlin Wall on the border.
It's well documented.
The Berlin Wall, motherfucker. This guy's bringing up the Berlin Wall and concentration camps. Like, what the... I'm gonna die.
Where children.
Let me ask you this, Ben. Let me ask, Ben. Why do people like you clearly deny what's really happening to Black people, but you pretend to be so concerned about illegal aliens? Why are you denying Black people rather than trying to really show them and help them in the right way? Why are you denying what's happening to Black people? Why are you pretending you don't see it?
Well, A logical fallacy I talk about in the book is begging the question, and begging the question is when you're assuming what you're trying to prove, which is what you're doing right now. You have a.
Why are you pretending not to see it?
To the assumption that you're right and I'm wrong about all this, and you're asking why I'm denying the truth. What I'm saying is that you are denying the truth. That as a matter of fact, it's just not true. That
Are you an honest man, Ben?
Yes, I am. I don't believe you are.
So, do you agree with me that the left have no logic?
What I agree with, what I say in the book, is that people on the left should care.
I mean, he did write an entire book, Logic for the Left, right? I mean, like, the left obviously had no logic. He thinks he can swoop in and teach everyone, right? Now, again, I read this book. Let me tell you, I read this book. I read this pamphlet, also known. And it was a pretty good pamphlet. Most of the pages are advertising other books, but it's pretty good, 40 or so pages. But anyway, like, I just, like, again, I love the idea that he's going on this show, and I'm really happy I'm watching this again, because I gotta watch all the Jesse Lee Peterson greatest hits again. But this is definitely the best. This is the best one. I mean, it was so good. Oh my god.
More about
Ben, you're not answering that question either. I just asked you, do you agree with me that the left have no logic?
Charlatans like you who have made, in the last several minutes, you keep saying they're just questions. They're not questions. You're making assertions of fact, and you're saying, illegal immigrants are doing all this harm to black people. Why don't
you're running like a beta male. Are you a beta male? Beta male.
Beta male. Stupid enough to believe that the phrase beta male means anything.
You are a beta male. I'm surprised. Not surprised you're a leftist.
Oh no, he's falling
If you were not a beta male, you wouldn't be a leftist.
Yeah, because a sign of being secure in your mask.
I'm paused.
It's not beta male. It's baited male. He got baited. They always get baited. All these people get baited. Baited male.
I mean, I would just like to remind everyone, every single debate I've ever seen of Ben Burgis, he has lost. I don't know how it's possible.
No, you're beta.
I would say, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You're a beta male.
Beta.
Ridiculous.
Beta. Let me.
I love that he clipped that.
Let me ask you, Ben.
Shows that you know that you don't have a leg to stand on in the argument. If you had an argument, you'd make it. You don't have an argument for your views. So instead of making it, you rely on nonsensical taunts about male. Try to disguise your arguments as questions. It's pathetic.
Ben, where does logic come from?
Logic is about how the premise.
I didn't ask what it's about. I asked where does it come from.
I have no idea what you even mean by that.
I didn't think so. So let me ask.
I didn't think so.
I gotta rewind that.
It's about how the premise.
I didn't ask what it's about. I asked where does it come from.
I have no idea what you even mean by that.
I didn't think so. So let me ask, and you're a professor.
Is your answer that it comes from God? Is that where you're going with this?
You are a professor of philosophy at Rutgers, right? And yeah, you have no logic. You don't even know where it comes from.
Oh, really? I have no logic because I keep on trying to explain what's wrong with your arguments, and you keep talking over me and claiming you're not making arguments.
Did Ben Burgis just say that Jesse Lee Peterson is talking over Ben Burgis? Is that what he just insinuated? I gotta rewind that. Hold the phone.
I have no logic because I keep on trying to explain what's wrong with your arguments, and you keep talking over me and claiming you're not.
Any comment?
Yeah. What? Ben is the one talking over Jesse, like, constantly, dude. How do you mean Jesse's trying to talk over you?
It's incredible.
God.
Realon in the chat. I think I saw that part on TMBS. Michael is roasting Ben. That's why I watched this too, because like I saw it on the Michael Brooks show, and Michael was just laughing in Ben's face, and it was amazing because that's what he deserved. But I mean, like again, I mean, this is incredible stuff. It really is. Like, I mean, I gotta listen to it again. Hold on.
Oh, really? I have no logic because I keep on trying to explain what's wrong with your arguments, and you keep talking over me and claiming you're not making arguments. You're just asking questions as if you didn't know that there was such a thing as a loaded question. I keep trying to focus on the arguments, and you're trying to do this petty schoolyard taunt about beta males.
Beta. Let me ask Ben.
Beta.
Ben, do you support abortion? You in favor of abortion?
I don't believe that the state should force anybody to remain.
I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. Do you support abortion?
I support abortion rights.
Do you support abortion, Ben?
Do you mean that I think everybody is pregnant? Like, what do you mean support abortion? I support.
Are you for?
Do you think
I think
everybody's
abortion
pregnant?
should be legal. Is that what you're asking?
You think abortion should be? Do you support abortion personally? Are you in support of abortion?
Do I?
I got Jesse. Jesse Lee Peterson almost fell for what Ben was trying to do, and then he caught himself. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like he almost was like, "Oh, do you support people's Nope. Do you support abortion?" He was back on character.
Support abortion. Personally, are you in support of abortion?
Do I think that women should?
That's not. What's wrong with you?
Because you're asking. You're being very unclear, Jesse.
I asked, do you support abortion? That's unclear.
Okay. Well, I said I support abortion rights, but you said that's not what you mean. Do I think abortion is wrong? No, I don't. I think that people should be able to make whatever decision they want about their own bodies.
Are you married?
Yes.
If your wife was pregnant for you, and at some point she
pregnant for you, I just can't. I can't. What's going on with the microphone over there?
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure it's not too loud. Is this too loud?
Yes, it's extremely loud. My ears. No, I'm just fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry. Is that all good? Are we good?
Yeah, I just want to make sure there's no like echo or anything coming through.
I think you're fine. And even if there is, I mean, like, what is this? The Jesse Lee Peterson show? Like, I'm about to just fuck with the stream layout. Look at that. Now I'm down there. You're over there. Like, who cares? You know?
Oh my god.
Decided I'm gonna kill your baby. I'm inside my womb. Would you say, go ahead, honey? It's your body. Do what you want.
First of all, the idea that a literally mindless collection of cells in the first
I just asked you another simple question.
But you are saying that it would be killing.
No, I didn't say anything. I asked a question.
You said 2 seconds ago that it would be killing a baby, and I've explained that that's just not true.
Ben.
It's not that a literally mindless collection of cells that has not yet begun to form.
So let me put it this way.
Is not a baby.
Since you won't answer that, let's say that your wife is pregnant, 9 months pregnant, on the way to the hospital to have the baby, and decide on the way to the hospital, I'm not gonna have this baby. I don't like Ben. And if she decide that she's gonna kill the baby at the 9th month, let the baby die, would you be okay with that?
No, and neither would any doctor.
Would you stop her from doing that? Would you stop her from doing that?
I wouldn't need to, because there's no doctor that would go along with that. It's a paranoid, delusional fantasy. What they would do is they would induce labor. That's how it would work in the real world. I know that you probably delusional nonsense.
Hey Ben,
abortion, but that's not how it works, Jesse.
Ben, you know who Pete Buttcheek is? You know, he's running for president out of Indiana.
I know who you're referring to.
He is for abortion at the 9th month. Do you agree with him?
Oh my God.
I don't think that's a fair characterization of what he says.
Do you agree with him?
I don't. Sure. Let's say. Look, you are distorting beyond recognition.
All I'm doing is asking questions, and you're ready.
But your questions are based on false factual claims. You're saying he supports this thing that he doesn't. You are distorting beyond recognition.
All I'm doing is asking questions, and you're ready.
But your questions are based on false factual claims. You're saying he supports this thing that he doesn't support. Do I agree with him? I agree with what he actually says. I don't agree with how you characterize it.
In New York, they passed a bill that if a woman is having an abortion at the 9th month and the baby should come out alive, you can let the baby die on the medical table. You support that?
I don't think that's an accurate characterization of the law in New York.
You're not an honest man, Ben. What's wrong with you?
I don't think
you're worse than your wife.
I think that you have made a number of assertions on subjects ranging from abortion to illegal aliens that are provably false. And
you're worse than your wife. Did you miss that? I can't. I'm sorry. I'm cracking up over here because I'm like significantly under the influence. But I mean, like, this is so funny for me. You don't even, Bill. You're worse.
I don't think that's an accurate characterization of the law in New York.
You're not an honest man, Ben. What's wrong with you?
I don't think
you're worse than your wife.
I think that you have made a number of assertions on subjects ranging from abortion to illegal aliens that are provably false, and you make these assertions.
So let me ask this.
Up to a question.
All I have done is ask you questions.
That is not all you're doing.
And you have dodged every question.
I have not dodged a single question. I have in every case explained.
Now you lied about that.
Shit is false. You have every time you ask a question, you make a bunch of false assertions. You say this is going on. Do you care about that? It's not dodging the question to say it is not going on. That you are just lying about that.
Ben, I have only asked you questions, and you have dodged every question, and now you're lying about dodging the questions.
No, you are
How do you
lying.
live with
said
yourself?
You only ask me questions. Every single question you have asked has started with a false statement. You say, oh, this is going on. Do you care about that? If somebody makes a false statement, this is going on, why don't you
Ben,
care about it?
it's not going to work.
Dodge you the question to tell them that the premise of the question is false.
Let me ask this way.
false.
Let me ask you this and watch you run again. Blacks used to be in construction, housekeeping, field jobs, services, and restaurants. Today, jobs have been stolen by illegals and so-called immigrants.
Okay,
Does that bother you?
You get to the question that you were just asking.
Does that bother you?
You just made a statement of fact. You claimed that these jobs are being stolen by illegals, and I'm going to dispute that claim, and you're going to pretend that I'm dodging your
You don't
question.
care about black people. What does that feel like secretly not to care about black people?
I always had a Tucker
Even you aren't
Carlson
dishonest enough
laugh.
to believe.
Like, did you? What was that? Like, what is that?
Care about black people.
Even you aren't dishonest enough to believe that.
Do you love black people?
Again, I'm sorry, but this is I'm gonna cry. Like, I mean, do you know what's going on, right? You know what he's about to say, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, but let's go. Let's go.
Even you aren't dishonest enough to believe that.
Do you love black people?
I want the best for all people. I don't know.
Even worse.
Do you love
All
black people?
lives matter. Ben Burgis. All lives matter. All lives matter. Ben Burgis, famous. This explains a lot of why he's like comparing the Black Lives Matter protests to January 6th. Is because he thinks all lives matter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Best for all people. I don't know that it's that honest to say that I love,
Do you love black people?
Not black or white, but,
Ben.
but I certainly
Ben
want the
Burgess.
best for everybody.
Ben Burgess, do you love black people? Do you love black people?
I wouldn't say that I love random people of any race that I haven't met, but I certainly want what's best for everybody.
Ben, do you love black people? Last time.
You really are amazing.
Hey, amazing!
Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing!
You love every black person.
I love all people. All people.
Every single one.
All people. Yes.
Every person
Yes.
you've ever met. I think that if you use the word love that way,
I
it's
love
essentially-
all black people. I love all people. Do you love all black people?
No more or no less than I love all white people.
So
I
you
have the
can't.
best.
You can't answer that. Maybe you can answer this one. Do you love the Great White Hope?
Great
If you're
white hope.
referring to our barely literate racist disaster of a president, then no.
You don't love the
I mean, you can watch this in 2021 and it still works.
president.
I do not love the president whatsoever.
You hate the president. You hate
Yes.
President Trump.
Yes, I hate President
And
Trump.
why do you hate him? Oh, let me. Are you a Christian?
No.
Are you an atheist?
Yes.
Well, no wonder. And why have you always been an atheist?
For a long time.
And were you always an atheist?
No, not always, but I have.
Were you a Christian at one point?
No,
You've never been a Christian.
I've never been a Christian.
What were you
think-
before you became an atheist?
Well, the religion that I believed in before I was atheist was Judaism.
Oh, are you Jewish?
Yeah, I've come from a mixed background, but yeah, but yes, I was going to synagogue for a while. I believed in, I believed in Judaism. I have but now I'm an atheist.
What made you stop? What caused you to stop believing in Judaism?
Thinking about the arguments, the problem from evil that they
The
have,
arguments. The
that
arguments.
The arguments that, when I open the Bible, the thing that really turns me off is the arguments. I don't like the arguments.
Their arguments are just so bad. Like the talking snake.
It's bad
What was he
arguments,
saying?
yeah.
What was he giving
Yeah,
any
right.
arguments? And how bad were they? I
How did the
literally,
snake know?
I
right?
just. This is fascinating. We have 10 more minutes here. But are you good? Can you handle this? Is this?
Yeah.
I'm over here. I'm dying, like live on stream. Now, like my funeral's tomorrow. Like, this is so
Oh my
good.
God.
in that the suggestion that there is an all good and all powerful being is inconsistent with the undeserved suffering that exists in the world. So I think that's a good argument against the existence of God.
So you don't believe in God at all?
About that, I'm happy to talk about that. I think it would be much more interesting to hear why you're defending Donald Trump.
Why do you hate the Great White Hope, President Trump? Why do you hate him?
Family separation would be a good place to start.
What do you mean by family separation?
His policy, unprecedented, of taking both undocumented immigrants and refugees in many cases who have a legal right under treaties that the United States has signed to have their cases properly processed and not be in prison, just for coming to seek refugee status.
And so, did you hate Obama for doing? Did you hate Obama for doing the same thing? Did you hate the fallen Messiah Obama for doing the same thing?
First of all, he did not do the same thing.
He separated the illegal aliens, children, from the parents for a while there. They were in cages, as you would say. Did you hate Obama for doing that?
So, one, it was not the same thing.
Did you hate Obama for doing that? That's the question.
So, I wouldn't say that I hate Obama, but I was never.
So you hate the president for doing it, but
I was very critical.
But you don't hate Obama for doing it. I
was very critical of Obama's
but you don't hate
policies.
him. But you didn't hate him. I
constantly criticized Obama's immigration policies. As bad as they were, though, they are not as bad as Trump's. That's a false equivalence.
So, but you didn't hate Obama for doing it before President Trump, right?
About children in cages under Obama, what you're talking about is unaccompanied minors.
Ben Burgis.
People who came over by themselves.
Hey, Ben.
About people who were stolen from their
parents. Ben, you're running now. A beta male. You're running like a beta again.
The fact that you would resort to that proves that you don't have a leg to stand on.
So you hate Trump for doing it, but you didn't hate Obama for doing it, and Obama did it before.
Obama didn't do it.
Before the president.
That's just a lie, Jesse.
Before the Great White Hope did it.
When you're talking,
So let me ask you this:
did not engage in family separation. The people.
That's not true.
When you're talking now, there are family detention centers.
You don't even care about family. You're a socialist.
Also bad, and I'm also against that. But family separation is worse, and that is a Trump innovation. When you see pictures of kids in cages under Obama, those were people who unaccompanied minors.
Ben, you carried on like my wife if I had one. Stop it.
I'm surprised. I'm amazed that you don't, Jesse.
So let me ask, what is it like to hate the president? What is that like for you to hate the Great White Hope, to hate the President Trump? What is that like to hate him?
I think that anybody who has basic elementary human decency would despise somebody who carries out family separation.
What is it like for you on a daily basis to hate the president on a daily basis? What is it like for being Burgis to hate the president?
On a daily basis, I don't think about it that much.
You have to if you hate him.
No, that doesn't fall.
I just want to say I thought about Donald Trump every single day he was president and about how much I hated him. I mean, that's an easy answer. I hate that motherfucker. I'd wake up, I'd go like, God damn it, I hate him. And then I'd put my phone down and cry myself to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, like that's you can't hate somebody and only sometimes think about them. That's.
Sheriff says I gotta go run an errand. See, that's humor.
All right.
Because your name similar to that.
No, you have to think of him daily in order to hate him.
Okay, if that's what you mean by hate, then I don't hate him, but I have no positive feelings about him and only negative ones.
Amazing. So Ben, my final question.
Yeah.
You're for student loans not being paid, for giving student loan for so-called students, right?
Yes, for the 44 million Americans whose life choices are currently constrained by having.
Did you go to college?
Is that a serious question?
Yes.
I think you can tell me the answer. I think that
Ben, did you go to college?
You want to posture and pose like you're an alpha male, Jesse? Just say what you mean. Don't hide behind asking questions.
I just asked a simple question. Did you go to college, Ben?
No, it's not a real question because you know the answer.
I love he's so mad. Like, imagine, this is toxic masculinity. I mean, let's have this conversation. This needs to be said. I mean, this guy is...
Right.
I don't know what's going on in his closet, by the way. Like, I don't know if you can see this on stream, but he has a closet. What's in there? You see that like pink little box up there? You see that?
Oh,
what's going on?
It almost looks like a used wine box.
Is that possible? Is it a shoe box?
Does
he have a shoe collection? Does Ben have an extensive shoe collection?
I bet his wife does.
Right, that's true. And he's worse than his wife, so he probably has a lot.
To the point.
What is the answer to that?
Say what you mean. Don't hide behind
Ben, that's not going to work. What is the answer to that? Did you?
Okay. Yeah. So is this how an alpha male asks? That they ask questions they know the answer to?
So you saying yes, you went to college?
They're too afraid to just come out and ask the question.
Ben, you saying yes, you went to college?
You know the answer to this. I'm not playing your game. Say what you mean or don't say it.
Did you pay for your college degree or was it the loan forgiven? Did you pay for your college education or was the loan forgiven?
You know the loan hasn't been forgiven. You know I went to college. Now say what you mean.
Did you pay for it, your education?
I'm still in the process of paying for that, like many people are.
And so, How are you able to pay for it?
How am I able to make payments for it? They had because I have, because I have a job where I can afford to do that. Not everybody
Why
does.
not suggest that for everyone?
Okay, so you think that...
No, I'm asking you, why not suggest that for everyone?
Perfect. Let's talk about why not suggest that for everybody, because what you're doing is something called the fallacy of composition. The fallacy of composition is when you say if something is true of one person, or maybe even it's true of every individual, then it could be true for all of them. Like, that's like saying that the molecules that make up the Brooklyn Bridge are invisible.
The fucking molecules, bro.
Just because individuals can get better jobs, that individuals can be upwardly mobile, they can get middle-class jobs, that doesn't follow that everybody could get a middle-class job. If everybody got a middle-class job, then the economy would collapse. Doing the job at the bottom of the economy. And that's the answer to your question. That's why it wouldn't make sense to try to solve this crisis by getting everybody to get one of those jobs.
So
you're not interested in the answers to the questions.
I gotta run. So let me ask, you don't believe there is a God?
No, although honestly, I think it's a silly thing to focus on. There are plenty of Christians who agree with me about everything I've said about politics here today.
So, Ben, you don't believe there is a God?
No, I am personally not a believer, no.
That there is a God. You don't believe that one even exists?
I do not believe that, no.
How can people get your book?
They can buy it, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much everywhere books are sold.
So the book is Give Them an Argument. Well, you did a good job today giving them an argument.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Ben.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Amazing!
Okay, do you want to, what is your final take on the most legendary debate that's ever happened?
I mean, it's just an embarrassing show for Ben. He should have just, not even taken it seriously. But he tried to engage with Jesse in good faith, and that's where he failed.
I disagree with the good faith aspect. Because when you're screaming at people, I don't think that is good faith.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, I think he started trying to engage with Jesse in good faith, and then it devolved on a couple topics where he was talking over people. But I think that's also kind of just what he does, is just talk over people and gish gallop and stuff like that.
I'm just having fun with the stream right now.
Yeah, you're good.
But anyway, yeah, that was really funny. I should do, and maybe you could be invited if you want, to do more other debate reviews that are older, because that's really good, and there's so many good ones. There are so many good ones. But I mean, again, I think that this is a good closer on the Ben Burgis saga, unless Ben Burgis continues the saga, which is very possible, that he will continue the saga. I feel like this is a very succinct saga. So, I made fun of him on Twitter, and he got triggered, and he publicly beta-mailed away from debating me. And then he selected. He first of all, he took applications for a debate so that someone could have the privilege of debating him on something where he's stupid on. And then that's where you enter the saga, Erin, and then you destroy him with facts and logic. And then he goes on his friend's show, David Feldman, his friend, and then gets destroyed, even epic style. He gets owned. And then and then people wonder, how did this all happen? What is the origin story of Ben Burgis? And I feel like this succinctly wrap that up. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, we'll see, I guess. We've got people messaging my co-host, supposedly, so we'll see if that plays out to be anything, or if it's just more posturing or whatever. But, yeah, I think overall, that's a good cap on it.
There you go, folks. That's it. Unless you have anything else you want to say, you can advertise yourself. I'm done. The stream is over with.
Sure. Follow me on Twitter, Erngern Perkermern, ERNGRN PKMN. On Twitch, ERNGRN. And on YouTube, just do a search, I guess. I'm not going to read out that's so fucking long and random.
You're going to have to read it out.
No, I'm not doing it. You can't make me.
Are you refusing? Is this happening?
I'm going to beta mail out of here.
Oh,
That's
no.
what I'm gonna do.
Oh, no. All right.
Mail.
You have a good one. Thank you. And everyone go follow Erin. And that's it. That's the show. It's over. It's over. I'm now playing the outro music. I can't hear you because it's so loud. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to turn the call off. Thank you.
I would say, oh, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You're a beta male.
Beta.
You're ridiculous, Jesse.
Beta.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Well, first of all, I should say something about how we came to be here and why we're doing this, and then kind of what we had in mind. Originally, originally,